What's up guys, Chasing Lamely here with episode number 11 of the American Dream, our F1 Manager 2023 series with the MoneyGram Haas F1 team. Gotta say the whole name to get not me paid, I don't know why I do that. Anyway, we're going to Silverstone today, which is going to be nice. We've got 4 days till the Grand Prix. The money situation looks dire, the car situation looks like we need to invest a little bit because we have no money. You see we're doing no R&D right now. In fact, I might just start a research project just for the sake of having a research project going if I can afford one. And I don't think I can because they're quite expensive. Okay, good. So, no car development coming then, which is what we need. We need to get some money in, to be honest. That's what we really need, is to bring some money into the team. So we'll try and do that. If you missed the last race, go check that one out. It was quite the adventure for us in many ways, I suppose. We've made it all the way to practice already, that's good. Okay, so we need to look at what our targets are going to be for today. This could be a short episode at this rate, especially if they both crash out, which wouldn't be the first time. So, let's have a little look, see where we are in terms of strength for Silverstone. We are looking at being somewhere weird. Okay, so let's look at what's important here. For the crucial things, which are high speed and top speed, we probably average out at being about 8th, and then for the acceleration and low speed, which are the next most important things, we average out at being 8th. So I think we're going to suggest that we can probably finish 8th. I know it's bold, it's a bold thought, but we're going to try it out. Right, let's guarantee a slot in Q2 and Q3, because in theory, that should be possible. So we'll tell them that they can do both, and we're going to have both drivers in them, and then hopefully we'll get the payout from the sponsors because we need the money. That is always a really smart idea. So let's get that money in. Finish position, that's fine. I might guarantee a fastest lap. This is the kind of track where a gap could form for us, and if it does, we'll see. Guaranteed at 12th, that's fine. If it does form, then I think we'll actually be in a really strong position. So I think we'll try. Can we do anything like that finishing position streak? Will it let us? I'm sure it'll let us edit that if we need to. It won't, but it's fine. That's fine. We're doing okay. We're doing fine. That's nice. Okay. English is my first language. Unfortunately, it's not fully developed. Right, so in the race prep, we're looking at what's going on here. In fact, we'll have a look at the race prep in a second because that's going to be important. Currently in the Constructors' Championship, we've got a Red Bull with Sergio Perez leading the Drivers' Championship. So apparently in this world, he actually does have a decent season. More eyes will be on Lance Stroll, who'll be sure to fight with everything to claim that first place spot this time around, or he'll fight with his personal trainer, as he does in real life. Anyway, that's fine. Please don't sue. Let's have a look at what's going on for Silverstone. Time considerations are things I always care most about because Silverstone has the longest pit lane on the Grand Prix circuit, so it's a 4-second gain under a safety car / virtual safety car. And let's have a look at the historic things. Expected strategies, we're going to be on a probable 2-stop. I mean, I like to use a 1-stop where I can, but a probable 2-stop will be faster. Ideally, I think I would, instead of going soft, medium, soft, or soft, mediums, I'd like to start on mediums and then get faster. As the race goes on, that would be the ideal there. We can't see the previous race results from the British Grand Prix because apparently no one programmed them in. And there's the history. Let's have a look at what we can do from the powertrain usage. That's quite useful information for us to have, the powertrain usage, because we have used a lot, and no one else has used a lot, so that's useful. What I was really looking for here, and I don't know where I'm looking for it, was what the historical chance of a safety car is. There, 100% chance. There used to be a graphic for that, I'm sure. 100% chance of a safety car. Weather-wise, we're looking at a wet race, which is even better, and a wet qualifying, which is okay. We'll deal with that. Fine. Right, I am going to go and do qualifying practice, all that good stuff, assuming it's not a sprint weekend this weekend, and we will come back after qualifying, and I will show you what we did, and we'll see what we can do in the race. So, Stick around, and I'll be back in about 2 seconds in your time. So that's qualifying in the books then, and Carlos Sainz takes pole, but he's got a grid penalty, so Sergio Perez, the championship leader, will start on pole today with Verstappen alongside him. Hulkenberg will start in third, of course fourth in qualifying on the second row. Great result from Nico. George Russell starts fifth, Ocon sixth, Lewis starts seventh, or is seventh in qualifying at least. Gasly, Norris, Magnussen. I think I'm going to take some grid penalties for Magnussen. His engine is really looking worn out. He should. When I had them in practice on sort of equal spec worn engines, Magnussen was faster than Nico consistently. So I think I might switch the engine out just to give him a fighting chance. I think he'll get back into the points still regardless. We've got Sargent in 11th, Alonso in 12th, Albon in 13th, then Stroll, Leclerc. Very disappointing qualifying from Leclerc, just couldn't get it hooked up. The Q2 session was wet and he just couldn't get it hooked up at all. We then got De Vries, Zhou Guanyu, Oscar Piastri, Valtteri Bottas and Yuki Tsunoda bringing up the rear with a grid penalty as well. He may start behind or ahead of us, who knows how that will work out. We'll see how it goes, but for now we need to go to Karun and Crofty so they can set up the race for you properly.
It's race day and final preparations are underway.
Silverstone is certainly a circuit rich in Formula One history, from Giuseppe Farina winning the first championship race held here in 1950, right through to Lewis Hamilton's 2008 masterclass on racing in the rain.
I'd love to know, Karun, your thoughts on Kevin Magnussen so far this weekend.
They've been performing well and doing exactly what the team is asking of them. They've just got to keep doing what they're doing.
So 52 laps of the British Grand Prix await the drivers, but there can only be one winner. Who's it going to be?
So it looks like we're going to have a wet start, judging by the fact we've got inters on the car in the preview video, and we are expecting it to rain today. So it'll be very much a case of what does the race look like for weather. I did say I was going to take those spares for Magnussen. He has jumped up to 9th with the grid penalty shaken out, but the engine's not as good as it could be, and we can see he's kind of lacking in just good parts. So it's going to cost us more development money, and that's going to be an issue. I'll be honest, that's going to be an issue, but I think we give him the new parts now. Silverstone is a decent overtaking track, so he should be able to get himself up forward. It's going to cost me a fortune. I'm trying not to think of the numbers because that's $7.5 million that we've put ourselves in the hole already. I don't know if we can get fired on this game for poor financial performance, but sometimes you've got to take a risk. I think we'll keep the gearbox. We've got enough gearboxes, but I do need to just take some penalties just to get us through the race. I think is going to be the situation and give us a chance of winning something. Looks like it's going to be wet all the way to the end. Looks like we're looking at a really brief heavy rain spell. I am tempted to say we just play this by ear, but that may not necessarily be a good idea. Let's go try and set up a strategy anyway. If we can stick to it or not is going to be the situation with Kevin. We're going to try and sort of split that into two a little bit. I think maybe we can afford to go kind of full out attack on these tyres because it should work out, I think. But let's go for the aggressive strategy and then we'll go aggressive or full out there, maybe? Does that make sense? Yeah, because that'll get us on the fresher inters just as the heavy rain starts. That works out quite nicely. And then as soon as we get into that kind of end stint there, which I've lost the cursor now, there we go, we can switch onto a set of softs if possible and take those all the way through that dry period at the end there, which should work out. I'm tempted to say let's preserve those tyres a little bit. We will just push into the in-lap and then we can really go for it on the hards at the end. That should work out. We might just sneak that fastest lap by doing that. That should work. So we'll firm strategy D there for Kevin. I know two-stop is rarely faster, but I think the alternative with Nico is going to be to try and manage the pace a little bit, try and cut out that last stop, but it's going to be close. I'm going to take a bit of a risk. If it looks like it's failing, we'll figure something else out, but I think maybe one stopping is the way to go. We'll see. We'll play it by ear again, I think, with Nico. Purely because I want to see how the tyre strategy is going to kind of play out a little bit. I don't want to come in too late. I think maybe lap 48-ish will be good. Yeah, I don't know how the other drivers are going to play it, and I think we'll get a good sense of that in the early going. We've got the pace anyway. That's not a huge drama. In terms of fuel, I'm not going to push the fuel, but I am going to drop a couple of laps of fuel because you get it back in the rain anyway, and I think that's probably going to work out well for both drivers. So we'll just keep on like regular fuel. Driving options, of course, we're going to tell the guys to do what we need them to do. So we'll tell slow pace on the tyres, fuel usage is fine. We'll push the ERS just to see how that works. Again, this might lead to him dropping a little bit like a stone, but I don't think it will. I think, knowing from playing the last, this iteration, the last iteration of the game, I feel like everyone else on the grid is also going to conserve their tyres. I think that's a good way to hold on to position. So we'll try that out. We'll see how it goes. We can always switch up to the two-stop that Magnussen is on if we need to. That's not a problem. But I feel like splitting that strategy, trying to work that out, is going to go for the best. I mean, there is an argument, of course, that switching those two around, trying to take the track position with Magnussen is the best idea, but I think that's going to work out. I think we'll go with that. That should help us out. I'm second guessing myself now because I know that if I can stick an extra stop in there, maybe there's something to it. Let's see, can I swap a stint round? Will it let me swap a stint round? It's not letting me add a stint, which is not ideal. We're going to play it by ear. We'll go with that. We'll see if that works. I may have those strategies the wrong way around. I'm sure there's people screaming at me in the comments right now, and if you're not, say something about what you think about this strategy. That would be nice. Let's just have a little look at what we can do with the tyres in terms of where can we go to an aggressive push on that one. Probably. Let's do that. Okay. We'll update that strategy. We're going to try it out. We'll see what it does for us. It could go either way. We can have a penalty warning. It's fine. Let's see what Cronin and Crofty got to say.
The British Grand Prix is nearly upon us. The drivers composing themselves on the grid ahead of 52 laps around Silverstone. There's a lot of talk about that man, Nico Hülkenberg.
They're up in P3, which is a terrific grid position for them. What can they manage here, I wonder?
And it'll be exciting to see just what will happen here today. Hold on tight, it's the British Grand Prix. And it's lights out.
So lights out and away we go then for the British Grand Prix. Let's drop the background noise down because that will help us all out. Right, let's have a look at what we're doing in terms of driver mentality. Of course, Kevin Magnussen starting from the back is going to have to be very aggressive on the overtakes. That's going to have to happen. I don't want to tell Nico to defend too much, so we're just going to tell him to be neutral on it. Hopefully he'll understand it and see what understand what the mission is, because that's going to be important. Let's jump with Hülkenberg. He's in a fight now with George Russell. I'm hoping he'll get that position back because it would be nice, although George Russell probably going to be faster in the early stint because he's probably pushing the tyres. So it's just a case really now trying not to lose too many spots. Let's switch to our tyre view so we can see what people are actually doing. It does look a little bit like people are going neutral. Leclerc is using a set of worn softs, which tells me he's definitely which means he's definitely going for a two-stop. He did a lot more wet weather running than anyone else over the course of the weekend, so that's to be expected. Still couldn't get the car hooked up, of course, but we're going to have to keep an eye on what's going. Verstappen's run wide, which is putting down into third and right ahead of us, probably slowing us down a little bit. He's also managed to scrub his tyres a little bit, which has not helped. Magnussen is not having the best race of his career because apparently that's what he's chosen to do today. Let's give him the boost of the ERS Battle Assist, because I always forget that's the thing. And we'll do the same with Hulkenberg, because I think if he can get himself just stay where he is in 4th, he'll be in a really good position for the race. So we'll kind of see how that shakes out. I don't think anything dramatic is going to happen with him. He might drop backwards a little bit, like I said, but I'm not overly stressing about that. I think everyone else is on the slightly less conservative tyres, the light tyre usage, which I think still says they're going to the end, but I'm just hoping it will come back to us towards the end of the race. I'm not not going to stress over it. Magnussen's got an overtake done already, which is good. So it's not a lot of stressing. I think it's going to be kind of a tyre war towards the end, I think will be what it comes down to. So we'll see how that shakes out. Let's go on board with K-Mag, because I feel like he's going to be doing something a little bit more interesting in terms of the early going in this Grand Prix. I think Hulkenberg's just kind of sitting, chilling, letting Ocon stay behind him. Hamilton will probably get past as well. I mean, I'd be happy with a 5th today. I think the 2 Ferraris may come through the field, but I'm not going to stress about that too much. We're going to relax a little bit in today's race. We're not going to expect the earth. We know Magnussen is going to get a good push on. It's just going to happen. He's going to try and get himself up now past Valtteri Bottas. Doesn't quite see the overtake there, but he should get it done soon enough. This is in clear air. He'd be faster, but it's up to him to get the clear air. So he has got to just do what he can here. Can he get this done going down towards the bridge? He will not, apparently. Of course, no DRS. While it's wet, that's going to be a thing. But we should look at how whether the track is going to shake out, because that's going to be important. It looks like it's just going to say kind of semi-miserable throughout most of the race. So it means it should dry out quickly when the dry spell comes, which is absolutely fine. I'm okay with that. Hulkenberg is going to really struggle to get any pressure into the tyres, which is going to be an issue. I am aware that I can kind of give it a few laps. Once the guys ahead start dropping into the 80s, I'll probably move up onto a light tyre usage, just because he'll have what it takes to push that through. But for now, it looks like we're holding station well in 4th. That's sort of what I want from the boy anyway, so that will be okay. I'm feeling good. Let's put Nico onto a more medium kind of neutral strategy for the ERS for now, just so he doesn't push himself too hard through the last couple of corners and can start building that back up again. Magnussen not really making up the positions, which is disappointing. He does, given him a better engine, he should have a faster car than many of the cars ahead of him. Shouldn't really be any excuse for not being able to find that extra sort of 2 or 3% as we come out through Woodcut there. We'll see how that looks. He's going to make the overtake, hopefully around the outside here. We'll see how that goes. He's looking for it. Can he hold his nose in? He can. He's managed to keep it there. He's got himself up into 18th and can start chasing down. Verstappen has already dropped into the 80s, which is great. We'll wait for Russell and Perez to do the same. We'll up the pace. Of course, if Ocon can also drop into the 80s, that would be ideal for us. And we're going to stay on the back now of Guan Yu Zhou, which is going to be our next big push for us. Well, we should make our way up through the field quite nicely here, I feel like. I think everyone at the back is pushing. Looks like Leclerc is really pushing on the tyres as well. We're going to have to be careful about the overheating of the tyres. That's going to be a real concern for us, but I think Hulkenberg making the most of having the lower fuel as well is going to really pay off for us, because that extra sort of lightness he'll be carrying is going to keep him ahead of Ocon through this first stint, or should keep him at least competitive with Ocon through the first stint. And we'll kind of see how that goes. I do feel like we're on the right strategy here at this point. 4 laps in, we'll see how that goes, of course. We're going to try and get a good run on Guan Yu Zhou here. That would be nice. If Kevin Magnussen can pull that off, that would be ideal, but see how that goes. Going to look around the outside, which is a bold move, because I would be definitely looking at the inside here. But there we go. He didn't have a look either side. He's having a little look now mid-corner, which is never the right place to try and start an overtake, but there we go. And we're going to come back out now through the old start-finish straight, see if we can get the overtake done here. Having a look at the inside, door gets shut by Zhou Guan Yu, and we're going to try and go around the outside, and again, keeping it parked in the middle of the track. Really good defending by Zhou, it's got to be said. And I don't know if we're going to get an overtake done before we get into the Maggotts-Beckett's complex. So, or Maggotts-Beckett's chapel. I always get that wrong. I don't know why. Anyway, We're going to try and get that done, hopefully on the way out of here, heading down towards the final sector. That will be ideal. Can we be able to... Zhou Guanyu defending like an absolute boss. Fair play to him, full credit to him for his defending skills. He is doing well. He's kind of the ideal number 2 driver, and yet he's the number 1 driver in the team. It's weird. Anyway, we're going to have a little look at the inside here, hopefully. Late braking, good job. Try and get it done. Hold on through the outside. Get the move done. Get ourselves onto the back of Piastri. Hopefully is our next stop here. If we can hold it in. We have held it in, and we should be free, clear, and good to go. Looking strong. Okay, we can keep the momentum pushing. Let's have a look at what the intervals look like, because we are building a gap on Ocon. Someone's had an off somewhere. It's one of the Williams cars. Looks like Logan Sargent has made us tiny error there. A little bit of a lock up in turn 3. That will help us out. Free position for us. It's not the end of the world, and certainly going to be something we need to keep an eye on here, as Magnussen now will try and push up onto the back of Oscar Piastri, who looks like he's got held up by Nick de Vries. Interestingly, Leclerc is not really dropping de Vries at a rate of knots like you'd expect him to, so there is a cork in the bottle here, and I feel like if we can get past de Vries and Piastri, we'll probably be in with a decent shout of making some progress towards the end. I am sort of aware that Verstappen, Russell and Perez, they might be 5 seconds up the road from us, but their tyres are going to go off. They're going to have to pit, make that extra stop, and I do feel like, if it had been wet enough for wet tyres, this would have been a 0-stop race. So we'll see what happens. We're right on the back here of Piastri. We're going to go for it, apparently. Double overtake, maybe? Double overtake would be cheeky here, but it's not impossible. Certainly hoping to get one here, looking for one. Got one done. Can we get the double overtake made with de Vries coming out through the final kind of chicane? Doesn't look like we will. Not quite enough room. We're wheel to wheel, and Oscar Piastri's hit us. And what has that done to the car? Is that going to be a front wing? It looks like it might be. It is going to be a front wing. Okay, that's not gone well for K-Mag. We are going to have to come in for a fresh front wing. I guess we should probably move on to fresh tyres as well. I feel like we've got to kind of switch up to make this a change to the end. We'll put the new front wing on if we have one. We do. Beautiful stuff. Okay, we'll come in this lap. We'll push the tyres as much as we can on the in lap, just because we need to kind of make that up. And then we're going to go light, I think, for the remainder of the race. I don't know if we'll be able to. In fact, I can probably let's have a little look at that on the strategy screen, because that's going to be a place where we have to get the job done anyway. So let's edit that to kind of reflect our early pit stop we're going to have to make. So we'll come in here. He did say he'd be faster in clean air, so this is his chance to prove it. How do we need to play the tyres on this one? That's going to be sort of light / conserve. I think we'll go light and hope. Let's go conserve. Let's go conserve. Let's not be silly about this. Let's not push too hard. We'll go in for a conserve just to get him towards the end. Hopefully that'll work out for him. I like to think it will. So we'll just play it as best we can. I know Hulkenberg struggling with cold tyres isn't going to help out a lot at all. I think we'll bring him out on a push just to get the tyre up to temp, and then we will conserve it until the end. We should have that little bit of margin to play with, so hopefully that'll work out. He's on the back of Guan Yu Zhou again. I mean, the front wing's not really affecting him a lot, but I'd rather get it fixed now whilst we're still in the early running than waste any time. Piastri didn't even get a penalty for that, which is odd, because Magnussen had the corner. Magnussen's taken the penalty for it, which is really disappointing. Shouldn't be getting a penalty for something that honestly was not really within his control. So that is a shame. We are going to try and make the pass up inside Guan Yu Zhou again. I probably don't need to make the extra pit stop, but I'm going to anyway, just because or make the early pit stop, just because it feels like the right thing to do. It feels like I'd rather have a full powered car and be chasing than wasting our time too much. So we're going to try and get a good out lap. Hopefully get some of that clear air time that Magnussen feels like he can get, And hopefully that will be the kind of beginning of a good thing for us. We'll see how it goes. There's a yellow flag out there somewhere. Hulkenberg is locked up. That's not going to have helped with the tyre situation. He's dropped like a stone. Hopefully it's not. Let's have a little look at his lockup. We don't need to know the pit or see the pit stop unless it's going to be a bad one anyway. What's happened here? He's had a turn 3 lockup. Everyone's having turn 3 lockups today. I mean, you feel like he could have brought that back in. It's one of those weird animations the game has, where he could have brought that back in. We're serving the penalty now with Magnus, and Hulkenberg's going to get dropped all the way to the back. This is where that tyre conservation is going to kind of play really nicely into our hands. Hopefully we'll get a good stop here. I'm hoping that was a 10-second penalty, otherwise that's gone wrong. Hulkenberg has lost 15 positions. What did you just sit there, wait for everyone to go past? He has actually just sat there and waited for the entire field to go. There were gaps in there. There were gaps in there he could have got going. He's taken the long way round. He's just absolute clowned it, to be honest. Okay, we're fighting up from the back, guys. That's our plan today. Fight our way through from the back. Luckily, it means that Hulkenberg's not far ahead of us, so we won't be able to do it as a team, but that's really not gone well. We'll see how this outlap looks for Kevin Magnussen. Hopefully he'll get up to temp reasonably quickly and we can get ourselves back into the running. And we are going to have to kind of just play the long game with everyone now, which is kind of what we were thinking at the beginning. Just play the long game. We are having no choice now but to play the long game. All the cars that come in and pit now are going to drop between our 2 cars. I say all, most of them will come and drop in between our 2 cars. I think the front 5 are probably long gone, because to stay involved with those, we need to actually be involved with those the entire race. I don't think we're going to pull that off now. We're up to temp now with Magnussen's tyres, so we can go down to the conserve strategy. And I think we're just going to kind of roll it through a little bit. We'll just let the clock run down. There's a yellow flag out there somewhere for something. I'm not sure what happened there. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully it wasn't Hulkenberg. It was Lance Stroll having a spin. Apparently he figured out how to rejoin the track without waiting for everyone to pass him, which was nice of him because he's come out in 12th, or come back in 12th after that spin. And Magnussen is in real danger of getting lapped here. That's the big concern, is that he's in danger of getting lapped. So we are going to maybe just take the risk. We'll go light here, just to give him that little bit of pace to push him back forward. Hopefully he'll get there. It looks like Hulkenberg has passed Sargent. Let's watch the replay of that, and then we'll have a look, see what the timing screens are saying. He's just done a nice part. He's still involved with the back of the field. Hulkenberg should be able to get himself through the cars like Magnussen was doing. It's just disappointing that he sat and waited on the outside of turn 3 for every car in the world to pass him. Hopefully Magnussen will start to close that gap down and get involved. I feel like he should be able to. Perez will be catching him rapidly. So we need to kind of stay ahead of the leaders. We don't want to get lapped. That would be unfair. It would be unfair to Magnussen to get lapped in this race. He should be fast enough to stay in that fight. Hulkenberg is making his way through the field. He's certainly feeling like he should be a bit more confident here. Let's see how his confidence is actually looking so far. He's not where he started. Magnussen is, how's he doing? Also not back to where he started just yet. So it's just a case of getting the times in. Albon has kind of got separated from Leclerc, who is going to make his way into the points. I think it was probably a result of Hulkenberg's accident, or certainly someone having a moment has caused him to drop back a little bit. But we're just trying to get ourselves, use the clean air, push ourselves up through. Magnussen has now got himself ahead of Sargent and Tsunoda. Bottas has had a lock-up. We are back in the fight now. In fact, we can probably go back to live action now because Magnussen has just passed Show. Hulkenberg is fighting with De Vries. They should both make their way back into the points. As I said, we're holding onto the tyres nicely. I think everyone is kind of in a good place. I can sort of use Hulkenberg as a gauge for Magnussen's tyres, because we know Hulkenberg's tyres are going to go to the end. So we can use that as kind of I say go to the end. We know they're going to go to the dry air period of things. I think anyone's going to come in for full wets when the rain starts hammering down. Unless that's what they're thinking, of course, with the pushing for the extra stop. But that does feel like it's too big a risk. I don't think that'll be something I will be trying to attempt. We'll see how this goes. Go on board with Hulkenberg on the old T-cam, going around the outside now of Nick De Vries, whose tyres are worn. We should be okay. I know, like I said, I know a lot of these cars ahead of us are going to slip in behind us. De Vries, Verstappen, has come in for a stop and come out in 7th. So we are sort of looking at the back end of the top 10 to get ahead of them. But that's not going to be a big problem. I mean, they may even try and 3-stop it. It's not impossible, but we'll see. We'll see if anyone takes the gamble on the wet tyres, depending on how wet that's going to get. We are looking at probably not getting that wet, to be honest, so that's fine. We're slightly behind on the strategy for tyres. That's okay, though. We'll make that work. It looks like we'll be okay. We'll be okay for now, and we can see the intervals there. We're going to have to just kind of watch them close up, and we'll come back to the action when there is action to come back for. It'll be Magnussen we come on board with, I think, first, although it looks like Norris has dropped into our sights. Are we going to get Gasly involved there as well? Maybe. There's going to be something happening. So we'll see. Let's go on board now. Magnussen looks like he has caught up with De Vries again. So we can get past him. Lance Stroll is in. We should pass him with Hulkenberg on the way on the pit exit there. So that'll push that up into 11th. Job done. And maybe he'll kind of fall into our clutches a little bit as well. I mean, Stroll should be racy with us. But again, once we get into the warm air of a car ahead of us, we'll be back up to temp on the tyres. You can see Magnussen, because he's right behind De Vries, his tyre temps are back into normal working range. Hulkenberg just needs to get off the back of Norris, and he'll be in normal working range as well. We're going to go for the overtake here, though, on Nick De Vries, which should be good. Guan Yu Zhou has had a pit stop issue as well, which, again, all plays into our hands. Magnussen doesn't quite make the move, but should have what it takes. He's got the battle assist on. He does have some ERS. Hulkenberg is in a battle with Lance Stroll. I think we'll give him the benefit of deployment. You can see we've actually gained that fuel back as well. Before the halfway point in the race, almost, or just after the halfway point in the race, I probably could have taken another lap of fuel out. But that'll be fine. Coming towards the end of the race, we can push ourselves a bit more. Deploying now with Hulkenberg, so hopefully he'll stay in touch with Lance Stroll. Carlos Sainz has pulled off the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, which is also quite good for him. Magnussen's got past De Vries. We missed that, but I couldn't quite get the replay up by the time I saw it. It's fine. We've got our drivers in 12th and 13th, which, given they've had issues. Oh, Charles Leclerc with a pit stop issue. He's had a naughty one too. So can we get ourselves ahead of Charles Leclerc? I don't want to, because we're just going to have to watch him pass us, but we'll see how it goes. Stroll will certainly get past him. He could be involved in this fight. He's going to come right ahead of us. And, he's kind of slow on the exit, which has held us up a little bit. Our tyres should be up to temp, though, or will be up to temp very shortly with the Ferrari in front of us. If we can get a good push on here, maybe we can stay in touch. Maybe we can make that work for us. There are, as I've said, I think there's still points on today, even with this strategy. I think there are still points on today, especially if we can get on the softs at the right time and really push them. I think we could be laughing. I think we could be in a really good place. Magnussen dropping De Vries, which is nice, and hopefully we'll get involved in this fight with Hulkenberg, and they can kind of push on together, help each other keep the tyres warm. Would be nice, but I do think we're okay now. What are we looking at on our tyres right now? We are probably going to be in a touch of bother. I am tempted to just say, look, go for it, and we'll go for that second stop. Go for that extra stop with the other guys. Magnussen, I feel like I need to rein him in a little bit on that tyre usage. Hulkenberg is the real question with tyres. Does he need to make an extra stop? Or is he in a good position? It really does depend where we think that rain is going to stop. It doesn't look, in fact, we've now got a forecast saying the rain's not going to stop. So I think we're just going to hold out as best we can. The yellow flag somewhere, someone's spun. It's not looking like it's brought us. If a safety car comes out, I am going to come in for tyres. That's guaranteed. It was Perez that span, dropping him down to third, which is not ideal. Lewis Hamilton looking to have another great performance in the wet for Mercedes, which could work out nicely for him. We'll see how that goes. I am thinking about that extra stop. I mean, we come out ahead of Piastri, but if we can get if we can get a safety car, and we were told there's a 100% chance of a safety car. 100 means guaranteed. We're out of ERS, so we'll save that up with Hulkenberg as well. Feels like a safety car can get us back in this race in a really nice way. We're just going to keep trying to push on for now. Hope for the best. Hope it comes at the right time. Hamilton's had a pit stop issue. That's probably ruined his race. Puts Verstappen on top, which is something we're used to seeing. Tyres are cold, I'm aware. I guess we're going to... Because we know we're going to have to gamble on a new set of wets, a new set of inters now anyway. I think we'll just try and push the tyres, get ourselves back involved as best we can. Let's not manage any tyres. Let's just get them pushed up to temp. And if we have to come in for a fresh set anyway, we'll come in for a fresh set. We'll make the best of them, build the gap behind us if we can, and see how it goes. Track is now dry. That's curious. Because there's an interstint coming. That's the trouble. There is an interstint coming. Is anyone going to dare to come in for a set of dry tyres? Is anyone going to make that gamble? Is there any time to be gained by doing that? Let's not go full speed. Let's just see how that... In fact, let's go full speed, see how that falls. Is it going to fall at all? I mean, if this is going to be a constant for long enough, I am just thinking, Magnussen's probably... Is he able to get in for dries? If he is, I mean, his race was ruined anyway. Let's try a dry stint, just in case. We can always back out of it if we need to. Let's try a dry stint. He's 3 meters from the pit entry. He's not going to make it. I can always cancel that pit stop if we need to, but it does feel like there's possibly a gamble worth taking. We'll see if it gets damp again. As we get down towards there, let's have a little look. How long is it going to stay this dry for? Because it looks like there's rain coming, but we don't know how much rain is coming. But then it could stay dry. We'll risk it with... We'll risk it with both drivers. Screw it. Why not? Why not? We've got very little to lose at this point. We're not exactly pulling up any trees. So if it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, no one can say we didn't try it. So there's a yellow flag out there for something. If that brings out a safety car, that could be cheeky. But it will also... the thing that's in my head is that it's obviously still raining. Is it just in that dry, allegedly dry track state, because of cars circulating on inters, or is it in that dry track state because the rain is so light that it's going to stay? You can see it's drying out. Is that what's happening? And if that's what's happening, is there some free time to gain before everyone maybe figures it out and comes out on dry themselves? We'll keep an eye on the lap times, because that'll be what really indicates what's happening for us. I think 15 laps to go. We'll try this out. We'll try it out. Why not? Because that track is drying out. It's looking like the rain has lightened. We'll have a little look at both drivers' times. We might not have been quite at crossover yet, which is what really concerns me. But Hulkenberg has sort of caught Albon already, so there could be something to this. We'll see how it goes. He is catching and looking like passing at a rate of knots. We are probably among the fastest cars on track right now. It can't be impossible that we can get ourselves something from this. And if everyone else is feeling like not braving it, then who knows where this will go. Let's see how it looks as we go forward. So I had to get a quick drink there because we were running dry. We're looking okay. We are, ironically, we're looking good. We're looking good for this one. I think we're probably going to be in a good place. Magnussen should be making time hand over fist on Albon. Tyres wise, We're running a little bit cold and we're still setting the fastest laps on track at the moment. I would suggest let's have a look at the last lap, see how that assessment actually stacks up. We're 4 seconds faster than everyone else on track right now. You'd think someone would have gone, do you know what, take the gamble, but no one has come in yet. So if we can maintain this till the end, we could get some points. It's not impossible. So we'll hope for the best. Let's go to the quick zoom. If people do decide to match us and come in, we'll be ready for them. But for now, we're just going to try. 4 seconds a lap. We should catch and pass Norris quite easily. We've got a fresher set of softs if we need them should a safety car come out. But we're making up the time. We are getting ourselves into a good position. I don't know if Hulkenberg is going to be in striking distance. Just keep an eye on the... There we go. We've gone to a damp track again. But I don't know if it's going to be damp for permanent. In fact, we can probably push the fuel. It says, should I box? And no is the answer, honestly. No, you shouldn't box. You should push your fuel more and we'll try and get a little bit better out of the car because... Yes, it will start coming back to the guys who want into it, but I don't think it's going to stay damp for very long, if I'm honest. I think it's probably going to get worse and then start getting better fairly quickly. And yeah, Magnussen's just lost a place to Albon, but as long as he loses one place, if the track comes back to us, and I think it will, maybe we're okay. Maybe. It's really tough. So it's a really tough race strategically because we were making gains during that dry period. We didn't make enough gains to have like a free pit stop, but we were making gains. I say we were having enough gains to make a free pit stop. We could come out ahead of Sargent now if we pit, but it's not really worth it because it's not like that's going to get us any points. So we're kind of hoping the track comes back to us. If it does, we'll be in a great position. If it doesn't, we've lost nothing with the gamble. We kind of had to take it. The track will be drying out now, so there's that. It's a real tough one. It's a really tough one. I know we can steal a fastest lap if the track gets dry again. We can steal ourselves a fastest lap, but it's going to be on the last lap if it does. And that's where the real question marks start hanging. Where are we in terms of the leader? Have we been lapped? We have been lapped, so this is effectively going to be the last lap of the Grand Prix. I feel like we're just going to push the tyres. There we go, track condition has changed to dry. Let's just push, see if we can steal a fastest lap for that extra cash. That would be really nice for us. I think this is going to break our finishing streak as well, which is really disappointing. We've been lapped by Alonso now, but let's just get our heads down, try and get a fastest lap out of this because... It shouldn't be impossible with a track that is officially dry, so that's okay. Verstappen's already won the race, so we already moved on to the final lap. So this gives us a chance. We've got tyres up to temp, we've got fuel flowing through our veins. Let's go, hopefully not through our veins, that would be awful. It's probably even Magnussen that goes for it because he's got the deployment energy, but we'll give it to both drivers anyway, just to make the most of it. And we'll see if we can put in some purple sectors. I feel like there's got to be a purple sector in us somewhere at least. And hopefully we'll make this work for us. So we're going to start the last lap now. Hulkenberg is in close proximity to Piastri. Hopefully that will help out. Get a late pass on Piastri, take us up into 13th would be beautiful. Just to say we've done it. That will be nice. If we can get the pass done, it will be fine. And Magnussen's the one in clean air, should be the one putting up the purple sectors with the extra ERS as well. We're going to go for the pass now on Piastri on the dry tyres. Should be looking good here. We've made it stick, and that will at least save some blushes. Don't think we're going to catch or pass Albon in a single lap, but you know, weirder things have happened in Formula 1. It could be the case, but it looks like he's too far ahead. We've got a purple sector for Kevin Magnussen. That's what we were looking for all along. Purple sector for K-Mag. Can he get the fastest lap, steal it from the leaders, and at least make Lance Stroll's effort a little bit pointless? It'd be nice if he could, just to say he did, to be honest, and at least, like I said, save us a little bit of embarrassment. We are slowly catching Albon. We're not going to get it before Verstappen crosses the line, I don't think we've got no chance of getting that extra lap back. It's also an extra position unless Albon has a horrible lock up here into the final chicane. I don't think it's going to happen. Magnussen's somehow slower through the second sector, but Hulkenberg is faster. One of these guys is probably going to put up a fastest lap. We don't know which of our drivers it will be. We're not going to get anything. We're going to come across the line for 13th. We haven't taken the fastest lap with Magnussen. Will it be K-Mag that takes it home? He has taken the fastest lap at the last gasp at a 1:32.2. So that hopefully will be enough to bring in the fastest lap. But I'm going to get ready to hand over to Karun and Crofty just so we've taken the full financial bonuses for today, hopefully. And yeah, hopefully that is a good job well done. So I'm going to see you on the other side of Karun and Crofty.
Kevin Magnussen not going to be happy with how things unfolded today.
It's been a very frustrating day for them, and they leave without any points. That's not the sort of performance we'd expect to see, really.
And no doubt, Verstappen fans will be celebrating the Dutchman's achievement.
4 superb wins to their name now this year, and it's been a pleasure watching them drive.
Well, we might be in Britain, but our podium finishers won't be celebrating with a cup of tea tonight. They'll be staying true to Formula One tradition. Now, Karun, I'd be really keen to know, how do you think the Haas team will be reflecting on today's results?
Well, it was a bit of a mixed bag here. Some things went their way, but others didn't. I think their main target now will be finding some consistency for sure.
And here in Silverstone, the weekend now draws to a close.
Next round, we're moving on to an exhilarating circuit. Formula One will be taking to the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Cannot believe Karun Chandok just referred to the Hungaroring as being an exhilarating circuit. It's great to drive, but it's not the most fun to watch. Confirmation that K-Mag takes the fastest lap. Verstappen takes the win from Sainz and Perez. Russell, Alonso, Hamilton, Stroll, Ocon, Leclerc and Gasly. The rest of the point scorers on a disappointing weekend for us, it has to be said. It's not gone well for us. Nico Hulkenberg stays in 9th in the Drivers' Championship, but Kevin Magnussen has dropped to 12th. In the Constructors, we have held firm in 5th, but now Alpine have caught us up a little bit. It's not really what we were looking to make happen today. Fastest pit stop. We've actually got some pit stop points, and actually we've done well on the pit stop points, to be fair. We've got 12 pit stop points. There's a shocker for us. We're finally on the boards and looking like we know what we're doing, which is good. I'm glad the team have done something well this weekend. So, I don't know if that gives you anything at all. I genuinely have no idea if there are points for that. We have lost a lot of money this weekend. We lost 4 million. We were already in the hole. We had to do those part purchases, though. We didn't have a choice. So we've just had to take our medicine. It does mean there's going to be no upgrades for the Hungaroring, and obviously having the Belgian Grand Prix move before the summer break is a problem for us. So it's not a problem financially for us. It's going to be a problem for us in terms of everything else. The board are going to be unhappy. We've got a new regs vote though, so I guess we'll take care of that before we wrap up the episode. 11 days till the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're in debt. We know we're in debt, buddy. I can see that. Car spot inspections, anything failed. We've destroyed a front wing. We've failed. We have to build just stick some old parts on the cars. It's going to be very, very close as we get towards the end of the season, I think is what we're saying. Race results in terms of our drivers that we've been scouting. We were scouting Seb Montoya. How did I sign Seb Montoya? I feel like I did sign Seb Montoya. I signed someone to be our driver for next season. I can't remember who it was, which has gone well. Let's find out before I make any more of a tit at myself, trying to remember that with my old person brain. Let's have a look at the scouting. Shit, in fact, it tells me there. Good stuff. Jack Crawford is the guy coming in next season. I don't know how Jack Crawford's actually doing in the standings. I think he's in F3 right now. I haven't really been paying. He was just the one of the drivers we scouted that we could sign. So that's why I did. Let's see where Jack Crawford is. Is he in F2? I think he's in F3. I'm pretty sure he's in F3. No, there you go. There he is in F2. 14th in the championship. He's just taken a lovely third place in one of the races this week. So that's gone well for him. But yeah, we'd like him to be pushing on. He was, as I said, the only one of the drivers in F2 we could actually give a contract to that we'd scouted. He is doing the better of the two Americans in F2. I believe the second driver in F2, American driver, is Juan Manuel Correa, who is not yet to score points. Brad Benavides also there, yet to score points. In terms of the other driver we were scouting, watch me fail to remember who that was we were scouting. And this was it Taylor Barnard? I feel like Taylor Barnard's British. It's Hunter Yaney. That was who we were trying to sign. Hunter Yaney is currently 50th. So let's be honest, the American drivers not doing a great job. Was I scouting Seb Montoya? I wasn't. I should be. We're not going to do it just yet. That's fine. Well, that's fine. We don't need to worry about that. We need to worry about this regulations vote before we run this episode to be 4,000 hours long. It's an ATA qualifying weekend next time out. That's awesome. Okay, let's see. Regulation changes to improve the sport. New sporting regulations improve the wind tunnel and CFD time for the championship leaders. Shall open up podium places and release win opportunities for more teams. Details are summarised below. So, if we vote for it, it will probably help us out. But if we vote against it, nothing changes, I guess. But I'm going to vote for it. I think it'd be nice to have a more exciting sort of season. I think it'll be interesting to see where people vote. In fact, I think we could tip that because we're currently, are we not 5th in the constructors' standings? Sure, we're 5th in the constructors' standings, so we are. So assuming all the teams below us vote for it, and the teams above us logically will vote against it, that should go through. We'll see how that goes in the next episode. We'll leave that as our little cheeky cliffhanger. I'm just trying to get ourselves back to the main screen now, because that will be nice to get us there. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Right, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you all very soon. There might be more episodes this week. I'm off work this week, so I might record a few more episodes this week and sort of cannon them out rather than doing one a week. We'll see how it goes. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you all very soon. I have always been chasing. Leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell. You know how that goes. Leave comments, share with your friends. Why not? Until next time, though, stay safe and have a good one.